Emraan Hashmi, good to see you. Welcome to NDTV once again.
So much, Rohit.
Firstly, I want to ask you, the lockdown and this whole period has been different for different people. How's this phase been for you personally?
Well, we're staying in unusual times, and there doesn't seem to be any finish line in sight. I mean, you are talking about COVID as a concept. I mean, unheard of that you have national lockdowns, you have countries locking down, worldwide lockdown. This is kind of an apocalyptic situation that we've only seen in movies.
Right.
And then we were caught unaware with the second wave, which just kind of hit us worse than the first one. And we're bracing ourselves for a third one. So there's no finish line in sight, and it's really scary. But I think, yes, there are certain industries that have been hit the hardest, the film industry being one of them. Because how do you change the fact that primarily the consumption of big ticket films are done in closed, dark rooms? You can't run away from that. So it's been tough. It's been a tough 1.5 years. But I think on the health side, it's great that family and everyone is safe. My heart goes out to a lot of people who've gone through these testing times and still are. I just hope that this thing ends sooner or later.
Right, same here. Hope so. Have you shot in the lockdown? After restrictions opened up, and there were restrictions, but one could shoot. Have you shot anything during this period? When was Chehre shot?
Yeah, we had finished Chehre shooting.
Okay.
We've been in the cans since the pandemic. Actually, we're supposed to release the film sometime close to March, April last year when I think the lockdown started. And then we pushed it again to March this year. Then we were hit with a second wave in our second week of promotion. So that was tough. But we finished our shooting some time back. And we're just waiting for a good avenue and time to release it. And we felt this is an opportune moment because you also don't want a film to get too stale because the promo had released in Feb, March. And we missed that bus, but we felt that this is the right time to release it. So yeah.
Right. Do you think people are ready to come to the cinemas? Do you think one feels safe? It's the best if it opens and people come and follow protocols. But what do you sense like with the business around? Do you think people will come?
I don't know. No one really can answer that question.
Right.
Even the trade people can't answer that question.
Sure.
Because it's got a lot to do with the sentiment, the fear in the audience, how confident they are to go out there. Even if they are vaccinated, do they want to go into a theater and watch a film? What are the kind of films that they would want to consume in a cinema hall right now? That's a big one. Because
right.
OTT has jumped on the bandwagon and taken a larger share of the pie. And people have been consuming these fantastic films for a 1.5 years, cooped up in their homes. What is that film that would drive them in a cinema hall to go and watch it? These are questions that I think anyone can answer right now. But I think it'll get clear. Like I was actually doing an interview with Amit yesterday, and we were just discussing the fact that it's important to take those baby steps to put your film out there. We can't shy away from the fact that yes, box office numbers, those magical numbers, that's the thing of the past. You will crawl back to those numbers when the pandemic is over and stuff. But you can't be scared of that. I think it's very important because these two industries are co-dependent on each other, theaters and film industry. So we have to support each other. And right now we felt because Chehre was ready and we had put up the promo, we felt that theatre was the right way to go and not really worry about the box office numbers. Whoever wants to consume the film in the theatre will consume it. And then eventually it will go out there on OTT and people will see it there. But we didn't want to shy away or be scared of the fact that, okay, we probably won't get those magical figures or Indian numbers as box office. Yeah.
Sure. What has changed on a film set? How is a film set different?
Oh, it's still as chaotic as it was. Nothing changed. COVID hasn't changed a thing. Still, it's doses of indiscipline around.
Okay.
But But yeah, there are, of course, protocols that have to be followed.
Sure.
The crew does wear a mask. Everyone wears a mask. And of course, not the actors.
Yeah.
That's what a little frightening in the beginning because you feel a little vulnerable because you're not wearing a mask.
Right.
And you're still interacting with other actors who aren't wearing masks. But I think slowly, from the first day of the shoot, I remember shot last year for Ezra. We wrapped up that film in November. I was very scared to get on that set. And even Mumbai Saga's one song that we shot. I remember John and me were petrified on the set because there were like 100 junior artists on the set. So, I don't know, there was kind of room for error there, but thankfully nothing happened. But I think I'm comfortable with it. I'm double vaccinated. So that's kind of takes a bit of the fear out. Yeah, I think there is that bit of discipline that's coming. We shoot bubbles now.
Right.
That's very important. Everyone is tested regularly. So yeah, that's important.
Right. Coming to Chehre, what exactly are you all doing? This is a real life game, very interesting concept. What's this game?
So there's this unassuming guest that arrives in this house, that guest being me. In this house, there are very interesting people, retired judges and lawyers. And this is this house on top of a mountain. It's in the middle of nowhere. They don't even have a phone line there. They have great conversations and they play a very interesting game. And a game of a mock courtroom where they create and they play out either they pick up case studies of cases and reenact them, where the prosecutor Amitji is there on the other side, Bullerji, who's Anu Kapoorji is playing the defense lawyer, Dhruvanji is the judge, and they play out this game. What happens when the guest comes to the house? That guest is pulled in. And Amitji's concept as a prosecutor, he says that any successful man or woman at some point of time has kind of done or is guilty of silent crime. He has stepped over toes. That crime could be big or small. It's my job as a prosecutor in this game to get into this man's head and realize and come to the conclusion of what he's done. So I'm this unassuming guest who jumps in and says, okay, I've not done any crime. I've probably broken a couple of signals. Nothing else. I've never done. He says, okay, why don't you come down in the arena and let's play. And that's when you start peeling off layers and things start unraveling through that night. So I mean, this character was extremely brash, cocky, very overconfident, in your face kind of character, successful, and how he realizes what exactly is happening in this house. It was a very interesting arc for me to play this character, Mr. Mehra, who by the end of it, actually I won't give too much to watch the film. A lot of revelations in the film as it progresses.
Right. So you're this guy who works in an ad agency. And how would you describe this film? Is it a thriller? Is it a murder mystery? What should the audience expect? What genre is this?
I would, it's a courtroom drama, but it's not.
Okay.
Because it's a game.
Okay.
But again, there's a seriousness to that game. So, the audience will be constantly oscillating between a certain sense of play that is going on between these characters, but also a sense of dread and seriousness now and then. It keeps playing those mind games with you. What exactly is happening here? Is this a casual game? Is there more to this? And it's psychological thriller. It will play with your mind. I remember Mr. Ruby Jaffrey actually narrating the script to me back in the day. And I was hooked for that 2-hour narration. Because it's so engaging, it's so engrossing. The dialogue is so nice. And it's made some very poignant points on the human psyche, our personalities, the times we live in, the justice system. All these things are kind of layered into this film. So they're kind of very deep layers. Some people who have to watch it probably, they would love to watch it a second time around to get certain things that they missed out on the first time.
Right. Emraan, in 2 years, it will be 20 years. You've already been working for around 18 years, if I'm not wrong, 2003. Yeah. So, when you look back at your filmography, when you log on to IMDb someday, are you happy with the kind of body of work that you've, put out there?
I think I oscillate a bit between being happy and being unhappy.
Okay.
Because it's very important to be dissatisfied with things, constantly push the bar and try something different. I think for any actor, for any creative person, if you are in a state of satisfaction, I think that's death as an actor, as a creative person. So I'm usually satisfied, but also it's extremely satisfying as an experience. The arts, playing a character on screen and then seeing it up there. You know, the work that you put in from the beginning, from the inception, on the script, finally seeing it on the screen. That is a big high for me. I think I've enjoyed every bit of it. Films that have been successful, films that have not been successful, doesn't really matter. For me, it's, you know, yes, there is the economic side of it, but at the end of the day, it's always the journey. That has to be fulfilling. And I've had some great times with some great people. I've learned a lot along the way.
Right. And, you know, while you know, we are talking about your 20 years, you have worked with Amitabh Bachchan, who's, you know, who's such a legend and has given so many decades more. What do you learn from someone like him when he's on the set with you? What keeps him going, do you think?
What keeps him going? I think it's again the love for the arts. I think is, you know, I had preconceived notions of how Amitji would be. Here's this veteran actor. I mean, you know, when you would mark someone's acting credentials, there is good, fabulous, and there's God level, and that is Amitji with his filmography. But the same man came for a 2-hour reading with the rest of the crew, and I consider myself as a newcomer compared to the kind of film that he's done. I was like, he doesn't need to come for a script reading, but he did, and that just goes to show how passionate he still is about his work, about his craft, about acting, and he's all there on a film set. He doesn't leave the film set. I've seen him standing in -15 in a blizzard in Slovakia, and doesn't go back to the car. He finished off his work. There was a 5-hour shoot, but he stood there for the action sequence. That's pretty good. That's
Right. Lastly, you know, we've all become consumers of OTT. Anything that you watched, anything that you want to recommend us, anything that you enjoyed personally, are you a big OTT consumer?
Yes, I am. Watching an interesting show right now is The Good Doctor. I mean, I've consumed a whole lot of stuff. Nothing is very coming. But I've just been watching a lot of stuff, films, shows. I think a complete mixed bag of stuff. So it's, I mean, what do you do? It was nice to be at home and also watch these, learn so much about these different films and shows around the world.
Right, as you rightly said, you know, there will be success and there will be films that will not succeed, but it's always about the journey, and that's very well put. All the best for Chehre. Hope this does very well. At a time like this, we need this to do well. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you so much.